This 3-5, so everyone here is going to start to be able to share this whole notion of this martyr heretic. Just stick with the keynote for the actual name of it. And what is it really doing out in the world, bumping into things and universalizing that truth in it? And they always bring something new. It's a change to the principle, is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't have the thing that's unprincipled for them. And so I can't, let's read through the things and we'll go through so when we get to the third line, if you notice, they're on the right hand side going up that spiral staircase, because the first line's in the foundation coming out that door. Second line is looking out the window. They're not even looking out the window half the time. They're just can't even tell anyone's looking in. And that third line is sort of going through its process of spiraling up. So they're different. They're apart, but they're still part of that lower trigram. They're always aware that someone is on the other side because they keep bumping into them. And us first and second line, personality people, we don't know the same thing, because they're always finding the new thing. And then that fifth line is up, literally keeping them away from stuff. So part of them has to bump into the world to where they find out what's going on. And then part of them learns to sort of hold back a little bit until it's actually practical. But it's hard for that fifth line to hold back, because when you're in that second story, sort of behind the drapes a little bit, peeking out, that's what the fifth line does. People sort of want to know what you're all about. So no shortage of things to bump into when you're a 3-5 profile. Bam.
I love that transition. So I will explain the core traits. So they are the quintessential experts of all the ups and downs life has to offer. Right?
Mm,
Part of that is the line 3, right? Offering the bumping into of everything. And when they're living out the high frequency of their design, they start embracing the messiness and they see beauty in the also messiness of life. And they're inherently relatable. They are super relatable, and because they're relatable, they're lovable, and they are seen as leaders and change makers, right?
change makers. Yep.
Hmm. And they draw others to live vicariously, right? So when you witness a 3-5 in their magic, right, it inspires others to kind of, also be bigger and bolder and have
That
more fun experiences.
it's that fifth line. It's so attractive to the other, and because it's unconscious, the third line doesn't quite always know that that's what it's doing. So, and that makes it more mysterious in a way.
Right? Amazing. So, do you want to do the learning and
I
authority?
don't want to read any of them, but I'm gonna. Learn. It's the size of the fonts and stuff. Anyways, learning and authority. So this is going to be important. Make this larger. It's to gain insight. Frame experiences as wisdom. This is a third line thing, big time. Embracing this fun and at times extraordinary experiences, but even the mundane ones. It's embracing what can be fun in the thing. You guys do that really well, and you're adaptive. That's a big theme. So you can adapt to the various funds. Us other ones and twos were like, we have to adapt to what? um, Navigate through challenges well with a light spirit and or a heavy spirit, depending on how badly sometimes they feel they're beat up. This release yourself from the societal pressure and drama. When you're learning this, how this inside of you works, that's one of your biggest friends, is to release that for yourself. And you do it by sharing and witnessing and seeing, sharing your journey, the comforts, things that inspire others, especially because you're always inspiring others, and half the time you're not aware of it.
Was that everything? I zoned out
So
for a
that
second.
was the end. Yeah, I was zoned out too. That was the end. Yep.
So, challenges and empowerment, right? So, the balancing of, the desire to get out there and explore, and also leading change, right? So there's the balancing act between the two of them, right?
Mm,
Because they have the line 5, right? They have projections of being a savior. Everybody comes to
mhm.
them thinking, you can fix this, you can help me, and they are projected upon. So they need to learn the discernment for, what things are worthwhile, whether it's a commitment, whether it's a connection or not. And again, I believe it's line 3, right? Bonds made and broken.
They're the most discerning. The 3 and the 5, maybe are the most discerning, aware, knowingly discerning. Yep.
hmm and the line 3 can get pessimistic. So to release that pessimism, right? Because you're here to try and figure out what works and mostly what doesn't work. But so when you keep finding things that don't work, it can lead to pessimism. So to, let that
Can I say a thing about pessimism? So
yes, do
the
tell me.
pessimism is just there as a
Mhm.
chemistry in your body to recognize you'll get this feeling. And just recognize you can't have a feeling without a chemistry in your body allowing it. So you get a feeling and it's pessimistic. As soon as you notice it, you can start to recognize that's a road sign. Maybe I should take it easy on this thing. Maybe I don't need to be pessimistic about it. Maybe I can just surrender and let it go. Maybe I need to bail out, you know, or
Mm,
something, but I'm looking more than I thought. I can now put my pessimism aside for a moment because now I know it's there. I don't have to
mhm.
live it, in other words.
Perfect. And you empower your role by engaging with those who appreciate your discoveries, right?
Yes. Sorry.
I have a 3-5 manifestor friend, and all she does is tell me how things don't work. And before I knew she was a 3-5, I was like, man, why is she always looking for faults and things? But now that I know she's a 3-5, I'm like, oh, you're just
Being
being you.
you. Yeah.
This is what you do. I can
Helpless.
now appreciate you so much more.
Helplessness. I love it.
hmm
Mhm.
And you can take the conclusion.
Conclusions, yep. So standing up for these principles is huge. I mean, you are bumping. That's why the anarchist is that third line. This is that projected role that's out in the world. It's a bit of anarchy because they'll tear things down. And then the general is the other projected attitude, which is akin to the saint and the savior and the thing that gets projected on. So standing up for principles will bring new values, and it always brings a new thing. Discovering and sharing these practical solutions. Can't overstate this word practical, because that fifth line needs to be practical about the things because it needs to navigate a projection field. Most people don't know you as a 3-5 until they really get to know you, but they think they do. Embracing life as this playful experiment. Well, you guys are naturally good at that. And if I just say, hey, you love embracing life as a playful experiment, here's $10 million, you would run off and embrace life as a playful experience. Okay. So, period. And helplessly, um, inspiring others with your unique journey. It's always unique. All of ours are quite unique, but yours is unique sort of out loud. One bumping into one, the person who brings a heresy. The heresy is something new, by the way. Anything, any alteration to whatever is there, that's a potential heretic. Um, and then fulfill this potential, this balancing exploration with forms of leadership, wherever your leadership is naturally there. And it might not even be there for everyone, but for most 3-5s, it'll show up somewhere. It'll be projected upon you and it'll feel good according to your strategy and authority. You'll be able to feel it. You'll be energized. And that's how this potential comes out. So you'll be able to balance that once you start seeing it.